Hey everybody, Glenn Tompkins, and welcome to our YouTube channel where we try to help you to make consistent money in the market and grow your portfolio. Today, we're going to take a look at two chip makers, AMD and nvda. Are they still viable in the market even with all of the chip shortage going on? Well, let me show you what I found out. You sit right there. Hey everybody, Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always love to bring these videos to your attention. If you're brand new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you'll be alerted to when new content like this comes out, and most of all, hit the like button. I also want to hear your comments in regards to these two stocks that we'll talk about today. All right, let's get right into it. Now, my first story actually says that the global chip sales are expected to rise 20% in 2021 amid supply bottleneck. So we all know that during the pandemic, chips were in big demand because people were using them for computers, for everything else, and there was such a demand and the supply wasn't there. So now we're in a chip shortage. It's hurting a lot of things like gaming and like automobiles as well. A lot of automobiles are having problems with production because of the chip shortage. I also saw a story a few months ago, about 3D companies being able to jump on board to make some chips as well. I'll do a follow-up story on that, but I did see that as well. But as I scroll down in this article, global chip sales are expected to rise 19.7%, which is a very interesting thing, knowing that we have the chip shortage. Demand has been far outstripping supply in the consumer electronics, auto sectors, and the world economy is rebounding from coronavirus pandemic slump. Well, with the Delta variant, that could be a different story as far as rebounding from the pandemic. Semiconductor sales are projected to continue growing in 2022 at 8% increase to 573 billion, World Semiconductor Statistics Inc. said in its latest forecast. So, chip demand has spiked since the need to stay home amid COVID-19 pandemic has boosted sales of laptops and tablet computers. A lot of people need to work from home now, right? So, they invested in computers. So, that was my first story in the prediction that the chip sales are going to increase this year. So, let's start with nvidia. Nvidia's got earnings coming out today after the close. Nvidia quarter two earnings preview, data center gaming demand continues to fuel growth. I've been looking for a PS5 forever, still haven't been able to get one. So my son felt bad for his dad and gave me his PS4 while he found a PS5. Gotta love them. Anyway, I'm happy just the same. As I close this out, when NVIDIA reports its latest earnings later today, the largest chip maker by market value in the U.S. could show growth expansion continues despite industry-wide shortages and supply disruptions due to the pandemic. That's important. That even during the chip shortage, if they're still growing, that's a positive sign for it. But you have to think that the chip shortage is going to have some kind of an effect on the company as a whole. But if they're still making money, that's a good thing. So now, let's go out to tip ranks. I noticed that out of 29 people talking about it, 28 of the people say it's a buy, one says a hold, and they've got a profit target sitting at about $250. It's interesting, right? All right, so that's one factor. That is the NVIDIA side. Let's move over to the AMD side. Recent research analysis ratings update for advanced micro devices. So now these are people, whether it's who are holding the stock or talking about the stock, are still bullish on the stock. And I'm trying to feel out if it's warranted. My first story says that the chip growth is going to be bigger this year than anticipated, and now analysts behind the stock are saying the same thing when they want to update stocks like AMD and NVIDIA. Now, as I look at that, they now have a price target of $110 on the stock previously from $80. It makes me think, what do they know that I don't know? Is that first story in line that the chip shortage and the fueling of more things needed by way of chips is going to grow? So let me stop right there, because I've got Advisors Asset Management increased their share take in AMD by 30% during the second quarter, according to the company in its most recent Form 13 filing. All right. Now the institution holds 58,960 shares in a stock that's got a chip shortage, and they're still putting more money behind the stock. All right, let's go to somebody else. Advanced Micro Devices shares sold by Highland Capital Management. Now, the other company, they rose and put up more shares by increasing by 30%, where this company is dumping stock, but only by 6.3%, by way of their recent 13F filing. The fund owned 43,000 after selling 2,900. So they still got a lot of shares. Let me see. Advanced Micro Devices were worth $4.1 million of its most recent SEC filing. So even though they took some shares out, they still hold a lot of money worth of it as well. So they might have been getting out of it, but they still hold it. And then price target here, out of 17 people here on tip ranks, 12 have a buy, 4 have a sell, one has a sell, 4 has a hold. They have a high forecast of $150, now trading at $111. All right, so that's the news out there. That's the articles out there. Now I'm going to get into the program. Now, here's the two stocks, and what I did is I wanted to see how well they've performed over the year. So I went back to the first trading day in January, and I'm going to do a quick test of these two stocks. Even with the shortage in play, both of these companies are up nicely. nvidia, though, is up 47% since the first day, since 1/4/2021. AMD, not as much, but still up 13.5%. Both stocks together are outpacing the market, doubling what the VectorVest composite or the S&P. I can change this just for the sake of argument. Change this to the S&P 500. Now with the S&P 500 on board, we're high, 10% higher than the S&P 500. Both stocks making money. All right, so now let's take this up until today. With a down day in the market or a mixed day in the market today, both of the stocks are down. AMD is down 2.5%. NVIDIA is only down 0.6%, but look at this. Both stocks have buy recommendations. What else? Fundamentally, these stocks are strong. Relative value, the stock's upside potential above the value of one. Both of these companies should outperform a AAA corporate bond by 58% over the next 1 to 3 years. These companies are safe. Tells me that these companies consistently meet or exceed earnings expectations quarter over quarter, year over year, and they're not risky stocks. The companies are in an uptrend. Both have an RT at 1.3. Both of them are nicely above 1, moving higher. Their buy recommendations, positive earnings, and double-digit earnings growth. All right, so now, with that, earnings we know is the engine that drives the stock's price higher. Let's start off with NVIDIA. Stock is currently in a channel. Level of resistance at 208.04. A level of support sitting at 178.44. Stock is definitely in a channel. Moving averages don't work well when a stock is moving sideways. So the stock is currently below the 20-day exponential moving average. I'm going to change this and put on the 3 and the 8 from a trade perspective. And the 3 is currently below the 8. So even from a trade perspective, the stock is trending down. The stock is below the 20-day exponential moving average. Let me put that back on. Definitely below. So you know what the cool thing about this is? Sometimes there's a bad time to be in a good stock. Stock is in the channel, currently below the 20-day. The line in the sand, if you're still holding it, I got a good level of support sitting at 178.44. What else do I like about the stock? I do like that the stock's earnings, the earnings growth rate, the sales and the sales growth are all rising. Now, remember, we saw the article has got a price target of $250. Well, this is one of those times I'm going to say, let the trade come to you. I'm going to use price action. Right now, I sit still on the stock. I like that the stock's got great fundamentals, and it's in an uptrend right now, sitting in a channel. I'm not as worried or as apt to jump on board as a new trade. If you are currently in the trade, here's your line in the sand. All right, let's go down to AMD, different story. And another thing in regards to NVIDIA, earnings comes out tonight. I think it's going to have a really good chance to outpace or beat earnings. It's going to be the forward guidance that will affect the stock tomorrow morning. All right, it's going to be the forward guidance. I don't know what their forward guidance is, and I don't have an indicator on forward guidance, but earnings does come out tonight. I think that they will beat earnings. I just don't know what forward guidance will be. Now, AMD, on the other hand, it's trending for lower from the high. Look at that. I got a downtrend on the stock. It's not only a downtrend, I've got lower highs, higher lows, creating a wedge, which is a consolidation pattern. This got a price target of $150, and its last earnings, it did well. Look at that. Stayed above the 20-day exponential moving average. Loved it. Chip shortage news, all of that stuff pulled back on the stock. Stocks are sitting right at the 20-day exponential moving average. Again, earnings growth, sales growth, all rising. But again, right now, I'd like to see what this stock wants to do. It's got to break out of this wedge one way or the other. I do like the 20-day exponential moving average as a line in the sand. And let's see if it can come off of that and keep running higher, break through. I like that price target on both stocks, but the stocks have to come to you instead of trying to guess at what they're going to do. All right, so with that, folks, those are my stocks for today. I think that they're both great stocks. We do know that nvidia has earnings today. I still think it's going to beat earnings. I just don't know what the forward guidance is. And as we're looking at AMD, we see that it is in a wedge. It's in a consolidation. Both of these stocks are fundamentally sound. Absolutely. But let price action dictate what you do or don't do. With that, folks, again, our goal is to help you to make money and to grow your portfolio. We do the research. You reap the rewards. This video is over. Until the next time, folks, see ya.